Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 2 of the Ball Hockey Breakdown with myself, Declan Moffat, our co host, Corey Hirsch. And tonight we're joined by three ball hockey legends, Drew Albright, Danny Cunningham, and Mark Bergamasco. Drew, I want to start with you. You guys had a lot of great battles against the Imperium this year and last year as well. You guys dominated the regular season this year. What made you guys so successful against the Imperium in the regular season?
Yeah, first off, hats off to them for winning back to back to back. It's really impressive. It's not something that's easy to do at all. But yeah, regular season, we found a way to go 3-0 against them. I think our feet were moving a little quicker in the regular season. Ball was moving a little quicker. We didn't give any room for them to capitalize on our mistakes. And then in the finals, we did make a few mistakes. And when you're playing against a great team like they have players like Danny, Mark, Krause that are gonna make it pay. So I think we were just a little sloppy. Sunday we were short a few guys. Not that that's an excuse, but we had to be better. They were the better team. They wanted it more. And that's something that we really respected, their hunger and their want to go out and show the world that they're still on top. So yeah, hats off to them.
Absolutely. Mark, you guys are a really tight knit group, and Penn Hills has always seemed to be that way. It's not just in the NBHL, it's in men's too. You seem to surprise everybody every season with how well the NBHL team and men's team's doing. How do you get everybody to dedicate so much of their time to the Imperium and Arsenal as well?
I think it started a few years ago. We had a few of our older generation who didn't really believe in practicing, and I hated that. And every time we'd lose a tournament, and I'd be like, "We need to be there every Sunday." And I don't know. I guess probably since like the COVID year, I mean, we've gotten really serious about being there every Sunday. At least a great majority of the team is there every Sunday. So I think that's really important, not just to play the game the right way, but just to build that bond each week together. You remember those times when it's late in a game, you remember all that work you put in, and you don't want that to go to waste. So I think it's pretty important, and that brings us pretty tight. Just seeing each other every week.
Absolutely. And those late game situations are what we're going to be talking about later in the video. Danny, speaking of dedication, we all missed you in Czech this year for the U23 team. Are you looking forward to men's next year? And what do you plan on accomplishing?
Definitely. I just had some different things going on this past summer. So had different things I was looking forward to. This next summer coming up, I want to get back into it, get more prepared. I just felt like last summer I wasn't in the right mindset to go and play and didn't have enough time for myself to do what I needed to do to be ready for that. So looking forward to next summer with all the guys. Hopefully all of us here in this group can crack the squad and yeah, just getting back to it and working every week. That's what it's about.
Awesome. Corey, anything to add?
No, all good stuff. I think that, having a chance this year to play in the NBHL myself and play against both of these teams, just both squads stood out. I think that Pittsburgh division had a feeling a long, long time ago that these two teams would play in the NBHL final. I don't think anyone really truly knew how epic of a series it was going to be. And man, like just the highlights in the games. I was telling San Rocco at the NBHL, you could probably just run top 10 plays over and over again from just this weekend series, to be honest with you. Like the passing, the high level shooting, the dedication to some of the goal, defending and goal saves from the goalies. They were just, you had a little bit of everything in these. We even had a penalty shot in the game, which was just wild. Like I said, like the series had a little bit of everything. But having to play against them, I will say, spectating in this final, I watched Imperium hit another level. Like it's like, all right, you're playing against them during the regular season. Maybe they're going through the motions here, but it seemed like that ball drop for the final was just like a whole nother locked in level. And that's what you guys do, man. You show up in the finals and when it really matters most. So yeah, again, hats off to Imperium for doing what they do. And the show, putting on show week after week, was also fun to watch. So looking forward to breaking down a little bit of the what is it, one play we have today, Deck, that we're going to break down from the final.
Yeah, so we're gonna get into Danny Cunningham's goal at the end of the game against the Showstoppers in Game 3 of the championship. Game 1 went the Imperium way, 5-3. Game 2, the Showstoppers won 4-3 in overtime. And obviously, this last goal is the game winner by Danny with about 2 seconds left. So
I believe the way this worked, there was like 2.7 was left on the clock in the third period in a tie game, 6-6, right?
yep,
And then the face-off occurred. Danny, I think there was like what 0.4 seconds left once the ball
Yeah,
went.
I think so. Yeah.
yeah.
It's crazy. We have a guy in the penalty box for Showstoppers. There's a guy in the penalty box for Imperium. So it's 4-on-4 here. 18 seconds left. Berg, you settle a play down behind the net. Tell us about that again. Why did you decide to do that with about 18 seconds left?
So I was trying to wait a little bit so that they wouldn't have a chance when we took a shot down there to come back down and try and score on us. It's kind of like when a guy kneels the ball at the goal line instead of just running in for a touchdown, because then the other team gets to touch the ball again. So I was kind of just trying to wait it out a little bit. So we had like 10 seconds, go down and try and get a scoring chance. I don't know. I guess that's a little bit of chess.
Yeah, you wanted that final rush. You wanted to make sure you guys had that final rush.
Yeah. I mean, they could turn around and score on us so quick. Just the way Jordan, Rick, and Drew get up and down the rink, it happens like that. So if you can kill a little time, kill a little time.
And what about right here at the face-off? Did you guys? I mean, there are only 4 players on the rink, so you got a center, you got a wing, and 2D. But all game long, Berg, you play defense. You come in here to take this face-off. What did you guys all communicate here off the draw? Was this a set play?
Well, I played with Danny and Percy on offense all in the regular season, and then I go back to D in the playoffs. And a lot of times if we're in the left circle, we'll put Percy in tight and then float Danny up high, or vice versa, either one. But Danny had been playing center all game, and then he looked at me and was like, take this draw, because it would be on my backhand. So I could just kind of try and smack it back. So he pretty much just looked at me and pointed at the dot, and I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. It is a set play, I guess.
Yeah, there's communication between the center and the forwards, or even D here. You guys all talked about it. Anytime players talk about it, I would call it a set play. Something that you guys drew up, you discussed, you had an idea of where it was going to go, and you tried to execute it.
So Drew, I had there was like 4 or 5 people that asked me about this play this week, just like asking for my opinion, and I think it would be interesting to hear from you. So originally you're lined up on the inside next to Jord, I believe, and then they cut to Bobby at the other end, and then they cut back, and you're like coming around the circle. Are you reading that Bergie's going to Krause because that would be on his forehand, or what was your thought process in that situation?
Yeah, so we had I think we'll have to check to be 100% sure. Michael and Miggs are both lined up inside where Danny was. So obviously I think Danny ended up having 3 in that game, but I think Krause also had like 2. I know he had like a couple from out high. That's what the kid does. He shoots. He's one of the best shooters in the game right now. So I wanted to make sure he was covered, because if Berg happens to not get that to Danny and takes another swing at it and it goes to Krause, there's a good chance, even from the boards, that he'll put that in. So I wanted to make sure that I was over there cutting that angle off, since we already had 2 guys inside where Danny was. So Miggs has a pretty clear lane out to Danny, but like I said, if that ball happened to take a weird bounce in the dot and Bergie was able to get it over to Krause, there's, even with him from being on the wall, there's a high chance he's going to put that ball in the back of the net, because he scored some pretty crazy goals earlier in the series from all over the place. So yeah, then again, maybe I should have stayed inside. Maybe I made the wrong choice, but it happened. It was a good play by them. Great win by Berg. Great shot by Danny. So just something to adjust next time.
I think too, you have to also know your personnel. So for any critic at home that's going to sit there and say, well, how come, Showstoppers put a player on the wall when there's not even a winger to go shoulder to shoulder with or a player to defend? I think it's more about looking at the alignment. Like look at Krause back at the left point and how close he is to the boards. Drew, knowing his speed, his reach, probably thought, look, I can get out there quick and block that shot off the game's best shooter right now, right? So for anyone at home that's going to criticize that, you have to also be aware of your personnel and who's back there. And to match up with Krause, makes sense there.
So, like, I mean, this is a tough situation having him and Danny, who's also another great shooter, over on the other side. But my other thought process was Miggs is, if you guys know Miggs, he's like a pretty gritty, PK guy, likes to block shots. I thought that he, would have had Danny covered. I guess Danny just somehow, some way with his magic found a way to get it through. So then again, that's another reason why, I thought one could go to Krause, one could go to Danny, because both need to be covered regardless where they are in the rink. So,
Danny, let's talk about that shot real quick. You never really had a chance to pick your head up. Did you pick your head up? Do you already have an idea? Look, if this ball comes to me, I kind of know the goaltender as it is. Did you read his tendencies? Did you just fire it, close your eyes? What are you thinking going through this?
I mean, honestly, 2.7 seconds left on the clock. I mean, I'm not much of a shooter anyways. Most of the time I'm out there just looking for Krause to pass it to him because he's usually the one shooting. So with 2.7 seconds, I'm just trying to put it on net if it gets back to me.
Danny, what about the fact that Robbie's a goofy goalie? Like, does that throw you off at all? Do you even think about that going into the game?
Honestly, I don't much because I don't really score up high often. Most of my goals I feel like are below the hash marks or down in front of the net. So, just being up there in that position, I'm not used to taking that shot. I was just doing whatever I could to get it towards the net in that position. And, Berg on the face-off, it was as perfect as it could be. I didn't even have to move my blade 1 inch. It was right to me. So it worked out pretty well.
Hey, Berg, when you rewatch this again, Jordo went in hard on this draw, right? So, but going back, what are you thankful Jordo didn't do on this draw? Because ideally, 2.7 seconds left, a center probably wants to what on that defensively?
Probably come in and just try and tie me up. I think he might have been thinking I was just playing D all game, so I might be rusty and he might be able to clean me. But I mean, we both went in there fair play, just trying to clean it. He tried going forehand, and then he tried switching backhand, and in that like whatever tenth of a second, I got just an inch and got the hit. I got lucky and hit the ball back. But yeah, I mean, probably if he probably had to do it over again, he'd probably come in and chop my stick or just take me out so I can't win it clean. I've been on the other end of that. I've gotten cleaned at the end of the game and another team scored. So like I can definitely feel for that situation. And yeah, your best bet's just to try and tie the center man up, I think.
Drew, did you guys talk about that before the drop?
No, I think we all usually pretty much trust in each other. We're always on the same page. George, one of the top centers. I mean, no knock on Bergie, who's a veteran center as well as a defenseman. But I was pretty confident he was going to be able to win that back to the corner and keep it. But Berg went in hard. He got the luck of the draw, made a great play. Danny had a great shot, and that was that. No time left for us to make any moves.
Yeah, I don't think there was any arrogance or ego there. If Jordo, a lot of times on draws, he tries to push forward, right? Here, I think he really did want to dig down deep. Sometimes we get on him a bit, just about not taking draws serious. He took that one serious. And yeah, if you ask him again, probably like Berg said, want to go in, tie him up, make sure nothing at all comes back. And if anything, help comes in. Drew, after the game's over, that's obviously a tough way to end the season. You guys all went right to a certain spot in the parking lot. And what was the conversation like?
Yeah, I mean, I just talked to the guys. We were just like finalizing whether we're gonna be going to the Miley Cup. We're going, but we're gonna be short. I think 4 or 5. I know at least 4 guys. So we were just talking. Are we all committed to do this because we want to get another shot to play the Imperium, hopefully. But other than that, I was just thanking them for being there the whole season. Helping me out when I got or when I needed to make some kind of manager decisions and step away from my game. So I just thanked them. I said, this was a good learning experience because we had a lot of young guys on our team. So yeah, we were just, final thoughts.
That was good. And then Berg, you guys all obviously celebrated with the 4s up. A lot of people don't know what the 4 is. During the COVID year, there was a NBHL Pittsburgh Division tournament. You guys won that, and then you've won 3 Pittsburgh divisions in a row. So that's where the 4 comes. So how do you guys celebrate a 4th time, man?
I think we had well, the celebration is to just go to the cup and try and win that again. But it's funny because Pittsburgh is there's something to Pittsburgh, right? I mean, we're probably biased, but I'm definitely biased, but I really genuinely think we have top tier ball hockey, if not just in the States, but like honestly in the world. I think just the hockey within this 20-mile radius is so good, and it means a lot to us to be on the top of that right now. And that's credit to Drew and the Showstoppers and those guys, because I'll be honest, there wasn't a day this year that I wasn't thinking about them. You guys motivated me and helped me get to a different level. So I thank you for that. But I don't know if there's too much celebration right now. I think there's more an anxiety of losing it, if anything, at this point. We don't want to lose that. Nobody would, but I'm sure our day is going to come. So just thankfully it wasn't that day.
A lot of the guys work for your company, your landscaping company. Did you give the boys off work Monday? That's what the
Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, is congratulations to Danny. We sent him on the grass crew. I knew we were going to be talking about him all day, so I didn't want to be talking about him and seeing his face.
And 20, I'd say you have like 18 guys on your roster, Drew. 16 of them probably work out at DMA. Did they get the day off of DMA training, or are they right back in the DMA gym that you're sitting in right now?
No, they're off. They're off back to school. Actually, most of them, their ice seasons are getting ready to start. So they finished up with me a couple weeks ago. But if their program was still going on, they would have been right back in the gym for sure. Just like Mark, I think we both share the same. No days off, hard work mentality. So same thing over this way.
That was awesome, guys. Thank you for participating, and I'm looking forward to putting this up online so people can listen to our conversation. It was a great conversation between all of us, and yeah, it was a great championship. I'm looking forward to the Miley Cup. So,
yep, same. Thanks, boys.
Thanks,
Thanks
guys.
for having us.
all right, guys.
Thanks.